Wednesday, July 24th, and today we will cover the trades for YieldMax funds, TSLY, CONY, NVDY, and MSTY. But first, real quick, I had a question in the comments about AIPI and how it was affected by CrowdStrike. So it made me think and have to go look. So I know obviously this is a YieldMax video, but Rex Shares has a covered call ETF called AIPI, which is similar to FEPI, but it holds, more AI stocks and different, various holdings. And one of them is CrowdStrike. And as you know, CrowdStrike took a dive recently over the past week or so. So I wanted to see how it affected it. So if you look, AIPI, they have 78 holdings. Of course, a lot of that is covered calls as well, covered call transactions. So if you actually go to the holdings and you want to see where CrowdStrike is, there it is right on the website. It's 5.43% of, the total holdings. It was probably more. And then it took a dive and it went down. So it's a smaller allocation, right? So how did that affect the price of AIPI? So I decided to go take a look. And CrowdStrike over the past week, it went down about 27.2%. And AIPI only went down 1.89%. So obviously, that shows that, these funds can handle, one of the stocks basically taking a dive. I mean, AIPI does have more holdings than FEPI. So if this happened on FEPI, maybe it would have been a little more damaging. But it is nice to see that if one stock fails and takes a big hit like this, that they are okay. Also, real quick, update, I did get margin and I was trying to use it yesterday. I'm still in the process of using it. So I bought a whole bunch of crap and I just wanted to update you guys on that follow me about YieldMax, QQQI, FEPI, Phoebe, and Ulti, and then of course more YieldMax. So stay tuned for more margin updates as I go. Again, I'm just learning about margin, and I'm learning through using. So that's the best way for me to learn personally. I don't know how you guys do. I mean, some of you guys can just read it and be fine, but me, I have to actually play. I have to actually use real money. Obviously, I'll do it safely, so don't worry, guys. All right, so anyway, who had trades yesterday? NVDY is the only one that had trades yesterday. If you look here, you see a buy call, you see a sell put, and then you see a sell call. 1,700 contracts. So they added 1,700 contracts to the synthetic position, the current synthetic position, and then they sold a call with an expiration date of this Friday. So let's take a look and see what that looks like. I had the prospectus up for AIPI, by the way. They do reallocate monthly. So I wanted to mention as well, CrowdStrike will get, they will add to CrowdStrike as it's on the dip if it comes to that month-end position, month-end time. All right, so here's the 127 synthetic for NVDY. Here's the 1,700 contracts. They actually made some money in adding that position. That will be because the strike of the synthetic is lower than the current price, right? Not lower, higher than the current price of NVIDIA. So it's at 127 and NVIDIA is at 122. It's 3.47% away, which is not that far. So making 600K on that, I'll take it, right? Again, their synthetic expires August 16th. So the hope is that we recover, enough, and we are in a profitable position by that date. Earnings I show for NVIDIA is August 28th. So we'll take a look at that when the time comes. July. Well, let's see. NVIDIA went down 0.77% yesterday. NVDY only went down 0.36%. So kind of a flat day, kind of a boring day. But that's okay. Flat and boring with these types of funds are good, right? Because when the market doesn't move, covered call ETFs are just fine. Because they're making money regardless, right? So, all right, let me use this stupid Zoom. All right, whatever. So where do we stand? Well, first off, they did add the 1,700 contracts. They added it to there's an existing strike for that already, 127, and it's currently 3.6% out of the money. So that is now, it's still the second largest position. The first largest position is a 126 strike, and that's 2.78% out of the money. So they're still tight, man. They're still tight. And they do have a 125 and a 124 as well, smaller positions, and those are around 1% out of the money. So needless to say, days like yesterday for NVIDIA, perfect, right? Perfect. Because in the end, of course, we want to profit on the weekly calls, right? We sell calls on a weekly basis, and we want the end result to be in a profitable position so they could do it and repeat it and repeat it and repeat it. And as they make premium, that premium goes into the cash bucket, right? And that cash bucket will eventually, add up and up and up, and all that income. Guess who gets the income? Us. Well, at least we get 90% of it. Outstanding shares went up. Why? Because they're NVIDIA. It went up by 600K. Not bad. All right, here's the recap real quick. 30-day IV, 48%. That's, I guess, okay for them. Outstanding shares, 35,350,000. A weekly call income is about 28 million. That's a distribution of 79 cents per share, daily income of 4 cents a day, daily yield of 0.14%, and if you annualize that sucker, 50%. That's okay. Not like woo, but good enough. Reaction is kind of happy, but not sure what to do. Their head's spinning because, it's super close call. I don't even know what this emoji means, but it seemed like the right emoji for this particular ETF. All right, so what's the recap on income? Well, they do have 5 million in synthetic income, and they have 28 million in short call income. So if you look at just the total income so far, they're about 94 cents per share. But if you take the short call income, which is from the weekly calls, that's 79 cents a share. And if you take how much they made per day, and see how many, days are left until deck date, I'm showing an estimate of $1.29, which is a 56% yield in total. So again, not bad. I'll take it. I know it's not $2, but it's still pretty good. As far as the holdings, obviously they added to the 127 on row 12, which is part of the weeklies in blue. And then we have the two, the synthetic positions hired, and everything else in between is treasuries, and on the bottom is cash, right? But the summary is what you're keeping an eye on is the net asset value is 971 mil. The NAV is 27.49, and the trade price is 27.50. So obviously we're approaching 1 billion. It's going to be, it's a pretty big day. I'll have to extend the cell here, maybe the width of the cell, to make sure it fits properly for the 1 billion. And then once we get to 1 billion, we won't stop from there. We want to stay above 1 billion and then shoot for 2 billion, right? Why the hell not? But yeah, we're obviously watching these funds grow, from our very own eyes each and every day. And it's pretty amazing, right? And then at the same time, we're making a lot of money, a lot of income from these funds. So, because as you see, again, from inception, this one basically has paid out, its launch price. Like it paid out $18.66, another $1.25, and it would have paid back 100% of the original launch price. Like that's unheard of. But amazing stuff from NVIDIA. All right, so that's it for NVIDIA. TSLY, we'll go through TSLY and then we'll talk about the earnings details. So they have two synthetics. They have 31,735 contracts on the 260, and then they have 1,315 on the 265. Right now, you could see they're 5 to 7% away from the synthetic. Earnings did not, the market did not like earnings. And we'll see that at the end when we look at the pre-market. But if we look at the synthetic, at least it's 24 days away. So, if Tesla tanks, which it looks like it's going to, hopefully we can recover on the synthetic. But 265 is going to be light years away, right? That's unfortunate, but I don't know. We'll see. All right. So weekly calls. Well, Tesla, leading up to earnings, because earnings happened after hours, there was a little sell-off. Tesla went down 2.04%. TSLY went down 1.32%. Now, as far as their calls for the week, they have, various strike prices here. They have their largest position is a 265 strike price. That's 7.56% out of the money. And then, they have a whole bunch of others. I'm just going to, the highest one is 282.50. That's 14% out of the money. And then the lowest is 262.50, 6.54% out of the money. So basically they have calls 6, 7, 8% out of the money and 14% out of the money. So I don't think we have to worry about these based on where Tesla is headed. Now, outstanding shares actually decreased. So 50,000 less outstanding shares. Here's the summary. 30-day IV, 62%. That'll probably go down now that earnings is over. So the implied volatility and those juicy premiums everyone was loving will no longer be, at least for a while. I'm sure it'll kind of stand still around the 50% IV rate, but we'll see. Outstanding shares, 49,075,000. Income is $31 million loss, $31.9 million loss, because as you know, they took a beating on some of these calls, these weekly calls, but it's all right. They do have synthetic income. Reaction is, they should be happy, right? The TSLY fund manager should be jumping for joy because they're going to win the weekly calls. But at the same time, the earnings, is this an over sell-off or was it overbought leading into the earnings? You never know with Tesla. Tesla's all over the place. So it's like, you want to be happy, but at the same time, all right, calm down a little bit, but we'll see what happens. Payment information, we talked about synthetic income. Yes, they made about 120 mil in synthetic income and then lost the 31.9 mil we just talked about. So we have to look at total net income for this example. And so far for the month, they made about 88 million, total income per share of $1.80. So how much are they going to get? How much are they going to pay us this month? I don't know. Probably over $1. Their holdings, how are they looking? Well, they got the 4 different strike prices. They got the synthetics. So, we got what, 3 trading days left. So nothing to really harp on. Like I said, if Tesla continues to tank, the weeklies aren't a concern. We now have to look ahead into, to make sure the synthetic can make a profit in the end. But, the net asset value is $808 million. This fund is gigantic as well. I know it always was the biggest, but it's still pretty damn big. Now we have the NAV is 1648, trade price right on the money, 1648. Okay, so as you know, Tesla had earnings. So what I do now, and you guys can let me know if this is good or stupid or whatnot, but my thing is, since I'm covering these funds on a daily freaking basis over and over and over, I might as well track the top 5 key things I've read about earnings. So that's what I did. So number 1, their earnings per share was 52 cents. They expected, the analyst expected 62 cents. So obviously they did not hit their goal of earnings per share, EPS. The revenue was 25.5 billion. That did beat what was expected, which is 24.77 billion. So that's good. The revenue increased 2% from 24.93 billion last year. So that's good. Automotive sales have dropped though 7% to 19.9 billion from 21.27 a year ago. The Cybertruck production more than tripled compared to Q1, which that's pretty damn good. And they're saying that they're on track to making a profit on the Cybertruck by the end of the year. So that's good news. Tesla did deliver 443,956 vehicles globally, which topped whatever Bloomberg has estimated at 439,302. So again, overall, these top 5, they seem to be, good results. Obviously, they didn't hit the earnings per share. But as you know, what I've noticed on Tesla, and again, this is, you guys have probably, most of you have more history than me, but if there's like a buildup, if it's going green all the way up leading up to earnings, it doesn't even matter what happens on earnings. It's always a letdown and the market sells off. And if it's the other direction, if there's a sell-off leading up to earnings, the earnings could be shit and there's, it could pop. At least that's what I'm noticing on the short time I'm covering Tesla. Let me know if I'm wrong, but it looks to be, that direction. But I don't know. Either way, that's the update on TSLY. Let me know what you think about the top 5 earnings information, if that helps you guys out. So CONY, again, no one had trades except NVDY. So CONY has the synthetic of 250. Right now they're sitting pretty. Again, 24 days till expiration of the synthetic. And so far it looks like they'll make money because they're priced 3.05% above it. But again, it's crypto, so who the hell knows what can happen by then. Now, as far as yesterday, Coin went down 2.84%, and then CONY went down 1.71%. CONY's still at $20, so that's good, right? Now, as far as the weekly calls, how are we doing? We got the one strike price, 275, and that is 6.74% out of the money. 3 trading days. So far, so good. Again, they started that position 10.4% out of the money when they opened it on July 17th, and it's still hanging in there. So, again, the weekly call is doing very good. Outstanding shares did go up for CONY. It went up by 500,000, so that's good. Now, here's the summary, the recap, whatever. 30-day IV, 77%. Man, you gotta love that IV. Outstanding shares, 37.4 mil. And weekly income is non-existent on this one because they have a loss of 46.5 mil. All right, so let's go to the reaction tab. They're kind of winking because, right now they're winning, they're winning their weekly calls. And, how much do they yield? They yielded about 43 to 69%. So they're pretty happy, but again, they have to be reminded by, from the whole month that they don't have much income, unfortunately. They have 19 million from the synthetic, a $46 million loss on the weekly. So right now, total income per share is a loss of 72 cents. And obviously the weekly is also even a bigger loss. So nothing to report here, really, as far as estimated income per share. So when it comes down to that, you have to just default to whatever the IV is. So we have to think we're going to get paid, at most you would think the IV rate. But, time will tell. Now, how about the holdings? So we got synthetic. Again, if you look at their synthetic, you see the call on orange. It's worth 77 million. Their put would cost them 50 million to close. And their weekly, again, their weekly's in a profitable position. So that blue number hopefully should go down. But if you look at their synthetic and the weekly together, if they closed it all out as of the close yesterday prices, they would make 20.4 mil, which, that's an additional income of 55 cents per share. Wouldn't really help them much. So they would need, a kind of coin to jump up much more. So the synthetic would be more valuable. But either way, as of right now, the net asset value of this fund is 772.1 mil. The NAV is 2065. The trade price is 2066. So again, staying above 20. Gotta love it. Speaking of staying above 20, MSTY is just a monster. It's a monster among men, right? So the synthetic is 1550. They're 11% above their synthetic. And of course, we got the forward split on MSTR coming up on 8.1. And we got earnings coming up on 8.6. So yeah, man, busy month for August. It's going to get interesting. Update my spreadsheets at that time. It's going to be a pain in the ass, these damn splits. So how did MSTR do yesterday? They went down 4.35%, and MSTY only went down 0.23%. So Big drop on MSTR. MSTY said, you know what? I don't give a damn. I ain't dropping by that much. So if you look, it's because they were so far in the money. So any drop is appreciated and it's shown in a good way. So they have one strike, 1675. It was worse. It was much worse yesterday, but now it's only 2.72% in the money. Could MSTY actually pull out a win on the weekly calls? I don't know, but we have 3 trading days to find out. Outstanding shares, no movement. What? No one bought MSTY? Maybe I'll have to buy it again. All right, not at $30 though. 30-day IV is 93%. Oh, man, you gotta love it. Outstanding shares. By the way, I did buy more YieldMax yesterday, so I do consider that my MSTY purchase. Unfortunately, it's also my SNOY purchase, but it is what it is. All right, outstanding shares 14,525,000. Total net income, again, non-existent. They lost 11.4 mil on the weekly calls, which, again, it's been a rough month for the cryptos and the weeklies, because, again, it's tough to play. Their reaction is they can't believe it, right? Monday they called out sick, Tuesday they covered their eyes, and today or yesterday, whatever, they're like, what? I can't believe it. I might come back. Don't call it a comeback. All right, synthetic income, 6.9 mil. Short call loss, 11 mil. So their net loss so far for the month is 4.5 mil. So they got no income to show for. So again, I can't predict right now what they're going to pay because obviously they didn't make any money. But will they? I mean, they could. Because look at this. Look at the orange, 65.5 mil. Their call is worth that. Their put, the other side of the synthetic, it's only 20 million to close. They do also have the weekly call, unfortunately, and that's also $20 million to close. So if you take out that 40 mil, away from the call, we're looking at like 25 million in profit. So if they did decide to say, all right, we're going to close out the weekly, we'll roll the synthetic, that's $1.74 per share in income, right? So if you add that to the loss of 31 cents, then at least, we're in the $1.40 range of income. Compare that to last month, we got 233. Obviously, it's not comparable, but you get what I'm saying. I'm sure they want, it's all a matter of, whether if they want to actually have the income for the month, because again, what matters is the fiscal year, how much income they produce for the fiscal year, how much they pay out, and so on and so forth. But really, when I'm tracking these funds, it's just the monthly. It's focusing on the monthly income, the taxable events, which means the actual trades that happened. It's focusing on that during that monthly time frame. So if they didn't make any money during that month, then obviously I'm not going to show that there's going to be a payment. But there's always going to be a payment, obviously. The net asset value is 437 mil. The trade price is 3013. I'm sorry, the NAV is 3013. The trade price is 3012. So that's the update on the 4 funds that we all love. Now, pre-market time. I know, again, it's early, but, sometimes, you got to get the videos out early. I got to get to the office. I got to get to the gym before I start working. So here we are. It is now 4:26 a.m., but at least pre-market's there, right? Pre-market, I show, at least on Market Watch, starts at 4 a.m. So Tesla is currently down 7.6%. It's at 227.63. We really, like we said, we didn't need this much help, like on the weeklies, you know what I mean? Like if this happened to MSTR, perfect, okay? They needed that. But this happened on Tesla. We were already looking okay on our weekly calls, but this is pretty big drop. And that's just pre-market, right? That's including obviously after hours and now pre-market. We'll see what happens at the open though. All right, how is TSLY doing? Well, unfortunately, TSLY's down 5.28%. It's in the $15 range, $15.61. NVDY, again, Tesla cycle between earnings is freaking insane. But this is why I love trading it myself. It's just, I love it. NVIDIA is down 1.82%. It's at 120.36. NVDY is down 1.13%. It's at 27.19. Coin is down. Coin is up 0.84%. It's at 259.80. CONY is up 0.68%, $20.80. MSTR is up. We don't want this to happen though. MSTR is up 1.34%. It's at 1744.91. MSTY is not even updated, but it would be a minimal jump because again they are capped, so they're not going to take advantage of the full gains that MSTR has. But again, we'll see what happens at the open. TSLL, which is a double leverage ETF of Tesla, they are down 15.18%. This is in good territory for me to sell puts for the day, so I will be selling puts on TSLL. And the good part, I guess, about having margin is I always kept cash aside for me to sell puts on TSLL, and obviously that cash was sitting there doing nothing, maybe earning interest from the brokerage. But now I used all that cash to purchase what you saw, right? Plus a little margin, of course. And now whatever margin I have left, I'm going to use that as collateral for my puts. And if I use the margin as collateral, at least what I'm told, is I won't get charged interest because it's more of just like we'll call it a pending lock, right? It's not really me borrowing the money. It's just like a pending hold against the funds. So selling puts on margin so far to me seems like a no-brainer. So yeah, I'm definitely selling some puts today. TNA is down 2.21%. It's at 46.55. AMDY is down 0.72%, 15.21. AMZY is it's up 0.1%. It's at $20.95. And then BTC Bitcoin is up 1.1%. All right, so that's the update for today. Yes, I'm sweating in the garage, even though it's early. It is hot. So yeah, that's all I pretty much got for today. Any other updates I could think of? Not really. But yeah, like I said, we'll see how the rest of the week goes. We have 3 trading days. Next week, I'm traveling for work. And I know it's declaration date for freaking Defiance while I'm away. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But it's going to be a little tougher to get these videos out. But we'll see what happens. We'll do our best. So I may one day do them live in the morning and input the data live. So maybe look out for that next week. I just want to give you guys a warning. As always, this is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. This video is for fun and entertainment. So hopefully you had fun. Hopefully you're entertained. If not, we can try again tomorrow. We can do our best. But it is what it is. Keyword, I guess, for those of you new to the channel, I always do a keyword. Some may say it's stupid, but I think it's fun. Some people have fun with it. So when I get to the end of the video, I spit out a keyword, and you guys, if you put it in the comments, it proves to me that you made it to the end of the video, or you copied what everyone else said as the keyword. But now, today's keyword is, I guess it's frickin' TSLY again, because frickin' TSLY is now $15, right? It's going back down. So are people happy about this because you could buy more? Are people sad? I don't know. What's your feeling about the Tesla earnings? Do you think it's unjustified? I feel like earnings is always hit or miss. It's either going to go up high or down low. I mean, it's never just flat. It's always just, but that's why you got to love Tesla, man. But that's why it's really tough when they have these tight strikes and these close strikes. I mean, it's tough. But obviously, we're going to make money this week on the weekly calls. But I now worry about the synthetic. Should I? Maybe not. Maybe it's too early. Too early to talk about. But again, we focus on maximized income potential on these funds. At least I do. I don't know if you guys care as much as I do. But again, I'm trying to think of how they can make the maximum potential income on these funds. All right, so that's the update. The keyword, like I said, is freaking TSLY. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please remember to hit the like button. If you want to help out the channel more, I don't know what else you could do outside of hitting the like button and sharing the video with your friends and family. Obviously commenting, only, but if you have questions or obviously if you want to do the keyword and prove it me to the end. But yeah, if you have questions or concerns or comments about my daily videos, I'm always up for suggestions. Believe me, as long as I've been doing this, some, especially new subscribers, it's good to hear some feedback about like, what am I doing? Like that's either too much, too little. What do you need more of? But anyway, let me go. I got to get ready for work. I got to get my ass to work. It's 4:30. I got to get out of this house by 5. Hopefully get to the work gym by 6. And get at least a 30 to 45 minute workout before work begins. All right. Yeah, I'm out of here. Have a great day, everyone. And again, thank you for watching. Later.